For the 142nd Wing, 2022 was a year of transition, morale building, and accomplishments. The impact of our airmen was significant, specifically with the COVID mission, which was at the tail end of almost a 2-year progression of trying to protect our local citizens. In addition, we had to continue to serve. We just got back from a 90-day deployment, and our only job was the sole protection of the President of the United States wherever he went. To say that we were able to accomplish all of those things in one given year is a good reason for a huge pat on the back.
Hello and welcome to your 2022 Year in Review. I'm Technical Sergeant Alexander Frank. Today we'll be taking a look back at the accomplishments, activations, and hard work put in by the men and women of the 142nd Wing during the past year. While the year presented its own challenges, Portland's hometown Air Force truly lived up to the National Guard's mantra of always ready, always there. Let's take a look back at some of the key events from Team 142 throughout the year. 2022 got off to a fast-paced start in January when the 142nd Wing mobilized over 200 Guardsmen in support of Joint Task Force recovery. The tasking saw Guardsmen from the 142nd and across the Oregon National Guard working to aid overwhelmed hospitals during the winter surge of Omicron COVID-19 cases. Airmen worked in hospitals across the state as access monitors, housekeepers, and supply workers to ease the burden on hospitals and frontline workers. Airmen worked in hospitals throughout March as COVID cases returned to normal levels. Also in January, the 142nd Security Forces Squadron became the first Air National Guard unit to house the Quadrupedal Unmanned Ground Vehicle, or Robot Dog. The robot can independently track perimeters, scan areas with different camera types, and funnel information back to defenders. This novel addition to the 142nd Wing brought with it the ability to enhance PANG's mission effectiveness through additional detection and alert capability, freeing up time for defenders to become more proficient in their skill sets as we move into the future. In March, Air National Guard Recruiting hired a professional film crew to shoot a commercial on Portland Air National Guard Base. The nationally televised commercial highlighted airmen from the 142nd Wing to show the public the impact of serving in the Air National Guard. In April, the 142nd Wing had the rare opportunity to host the Commander-in-Chief. President Joe Biden visited Portland, Oregon as part of a 2-day trip through the Pacific Northwest. During his visit, he held a press conference attended by state and local leaders at the Portland Air National Guard Base's Rosenbaum hangar. During his time at the podium, the president took a moment to personally thank the Red Hawks, the 142nd Wing, and its leadership for facilitating the monumentous event. While the 142nd Wing mostly played a support role for the visit, it was a unique opportunity for some Guardsmen to shake hands with the president. President Biden briefly returned to PANG in October during a campaign trip to the West Coast. In May, roughly 200 142nd Wing Guardsmen flew to Tyndall Air Force Base in Florida to participate in the Weapons System Evaluation Program, or WESUP, and Checkered Flag 2022. The goal of WESUP is to test weapon systems and to evaluate pilots' ability to employ weapons, while Checkered Flag is a recurring training exercise wherein pilots from different bases across the country operating a variety of airframes play out various training scenarios in one of the largest air-to-air exercises featuring 4th and 5th generation aircraft. For 2 weeks, Team 142 worked hard to meet a variety of challenges and demands in various training scenarios. Also in May, the 142nd Wing participated in the Oregon International Air Show in Hillsboro from the 20th to the 22nd. For the event, the Wing lent an F-15 Eagle for a static display, performed flybys, and hosted several visiting aircraft at the Portland Air National Guard Base. In August, the 142nd Wing also supported the Oregon International Air Show in McMinnville, including hosting the Air Force Thunderbirds demonstration team at PANG. In June, members of the 142nd Medical Group Detachment 1 participated in a joint service readiness and evaluation exercise as part of Oregon's Chemical, Biological, Radiological, Nuclear, and Explosive Enhanced Response Force Package, or SURF-P team. The exercise simulated various disaster scenarios and evaluated airmen's ability to respond to an assortment of hazardous environments. The evaluation ensures that Oregon Guardsmen are ready to respond when needed. The 125th Special Tactics Squadron participated in the Agile Rage exercise in Alpena, Michigan in June. Agile Rage is a joint exercise that focuses on live fire training, tactics, and procedures conducted by the Air Force's Agile Combat Employment Mission. Uniting several hundred airmen from across the country, Agile Rage validated proficiency in joint intelligence operations, airspace control, search and rescue coordination, intra-theater airlift, close air support, and agile combat employment. During the June drill, the 142nd Wing held a Combat Dining In event at Portland Air National Guard Base. A Combat Dining In is a military-only, esprit de corps event in which airmen participate in various events, typically involving water fights, tugs of war, and various traditions of speeches, games, and challenges. The event was held to increase unit cohesion and give local guardsmen a chance to have fun. July marked the 50th anniversary of Camp Rosenbaum. This week-long summer camp is a joint effort by Portland Police Bureau, Home Forward, and the Oregon National Guard to provide underprivileged youth a chance to have fun at the Oregon coast. 142nd Wing Airmen participated as camp counselors and support staff, working to connect and mentor kids from across Oregon and Southwest Washington. The camp was founded in 1970 by former Oregon Air National Guard Brigadier General and Holocaust survivor General Fred Rosenbaum. 142nd firefighters participated in joint training alongside active duty counterparts at Luke Air Force Base in Arizona during August. During their 2 weeks of training, the team trained on live fires, F-35 and F-16 egress procedures, fire suppressant techniques, medical training, as well as combat arms training and qualification. Training away from home base provides an opportunity for airmen to broaden their skill sets by taking advantage of resources that are not readily available at Pang and working in a joint service environment. Throughout 2022, members of the 142nd Wing helped to clean up and restore the World War II-era chapel building on Portland Air National Guard Base. The chapel was built in 1941 as a temporary structure and has persevered through natural disasters and housed many events over the years. The chapel was closed for renovation back in 2016 and officially reopened in April 2022. Following the chapel's reopening, Wing members took time to landscape and beautify the grounds, creating a renovated event space that could be passed down to future generations of Guardsmen. In September, the 142nd Wing helped the Seattle Seahawks kick off their season opener in style. 2 F-15s from the 142nd Wing performed a flyover during the opening ceremonies. The event was nationally televised on ESPN's Monday Night Football, reaching nearly 20 million viewers and ranking as one of the most watched games in the program's history. In September, more than 200 members from the 142nd Wing deployed for Operation Noble Eagle. While deployed as the 466th Air Expeditionary Group, 142nd pilots, maintainers, and weapons loaders provided air sovereignty for the U.S. while stationed out of Langley Air Force Base, Virginia. In December, Wing members were forward deployed to Muniz Air Base to aid in the enforcement of flight-restricted airspace over St. Croix. Airmen returned home to Portland Air National Guard Base in early 2023, where military leadership and families were eager to welcome them home.
I want the public to know that we are one of them. So only 1/3 of our force is full-time. There's a remaining 2/3 that just serve 2 days a month, essentially a couple weeks a year, and they show up, they sharpen their swords and make sure that they're ready for the future in which they might be called upon. So for 2023, I'm hopeful for a continued evolution of a culture that trusts and cares for one another. So I'm really looking forward to us all coming together, working together, continuing to build that trust in that family so we can build those synergistic efforts to do a much better job for our American people.